It is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker of the evening, Elliot Obutu-Bebbington. Elliot is a recent graduate of our LIT program from this past year, and Elliot is going to be speaking to us about how Kwasind is a catalyst of developing young leaders to influence their world. Please help me give a warm welcome to Elliot.
I'd like to, first off, thank all of you for being here and giving me such a warm welcome. And with that, I'd like to thank every individually one of you. For most of my life, I have been a funny guy. The one who could make a room burst out in laughter, and I always knew when to crack a joke at the right moment. But that's all people knew me for, really. Sometimes I felt like, on a deeper level, people never really took me seriously. But I stood there and I took it. One thing about me personally is that deep down, my entire life, I have masked my anxieties with humor and laughs, and that's just how I was. I was the funny guy in the room, But I felt like nobody ever really looked at me seriously as someone who can inspire or lead others. It was if only people thought that because I was funny and a bit of a clown, that I could not be serious, responsible, or impactful. I've been to many summer camps over my life, and it was good, and I was always trying to be, the life of the party, the funny guy. That's what I was known for. But everything changed 2 years ago when I found myself at Camp Kwasind. I remember the moment that I arrived at Kwasind for week 7 last year, and I took in the beautiful setting all around me, and I immediately knew something about it was different. At Kwasind, I encountered people who saw something in me. I was more than just a funny guy. People saw me as more than just the comic relief. My cabin leaders that year, Voltage and License, were some of the most impactful people I have ever met in my entire life. They saw me as more than just a funny guy. They saw who I was inside. I shared with Voltage and License my anxieties, and I expected to be made fun of it for it. Because, when you're an anxious teenager, you don't really know what's going to happen. Being accepted for who I was really a big game changer for me. And then I started to realize that other people at camp, they saw something in me. They saw deep down that I was a person who could lead, could inspire. And I remember Voltage, my cabin leader, sharing with me, "You are able to be you. You have great skills to share with others, and you make other people feel like they belong." And I was stunned. I never really thought of my humor as more than something to get a cheap laugh out of people, but I realized that time that I could use it as a tool for leadership. And it was that moment that planted a seed within my soul. The first week at Kwasind was a week that changed my life, and following it with Teen Week only made that seed grow. Teen Week inspired me to want to become a leader like the people around me. I felt like I truly belonged. The way everyone laughed together, the deep conversations we all had, the way we supported each other, it was a feeling that I had never experienced before. I found myself listening more, being more intentional with my words and my actions, and I felt something new stir within me. I felt a faith that I had let go previously, and I felt a connection to Jesus that I hadn't known was possible in a very long time. I felt that God truly was for me. The following year, I applied to the LIT, Leaders in Training program at Kwasind. And to be honest, I was nervous. I kept thinking, why would they pick me? I was worried that deep down, due to how I acted and where I was in my faith at that time, that they wouldn't take me in. They wouldn't let me join their program. But to my surprise and utter joy, I was accepted and brought into the LIT program. And while it was intense, it was one of the best times of my life. It threw me out of my comfort zone, but it made me feel accepted in ways that I never had ever felt before. It made me feel like I could truly become a leader. Every time I felt like throwing in the towel, someone was always there to lift me up. Whether it was another LIT, a small group leader, or just one of the other campers who looked up to me, I really felt like I could be a leader. The LIT program taught me that leadership is not just about titles or positions. It's not about having a change in the power dynamic. Leadership is about serving others. It's about seeing the potential in others and helping them see that in themselves. It's about setting a goal and working with them to reach it. And it's about love, most of all. Loving the people you lead, caring about their growth, and wanting the best in them. I came to realize that I didn't have to stop being the funny guy and the comic relief to be a leader. To have my respect of others, my humor was one of my greatest strengths. It helped people feel comfortable around me. They could open up to me, and it helped me so much. I'm still learning to use it in a way that's purposeful, not just for laughs, but to build connections with others and help uplift them. I am becoming someone who can help make people smile, laugh, but someone who can be there for them when they are down. I could be the person who brings joy, but the person who can inspire growth in everyone. After last summer and the completion of LIT, the 2 weeks on helping on the maintenance and program team, keeping camp look great, and plan events behind the scenes, I returned home with a new perspective of my life. I no longer had to hide my true self behind my humor and my personality, and I was able to make an impact on others. I wanted to grow as a Christian leader. I realized that to do that, I needed to stay connected to my community that would help support me and keep me accountable. And I'm starting to connect to a local church in my area, and I want to be a part of their worship team to show others that it is possible to break through your anxieties and your pains just by trusting in God. I am becoming more involved in my church, learning more about God's word, and to be surrounded by others who share my faith, and just as I'm learning to grow as a follower of Jesus. At my school, in my community, in my families, I've begun looking for ways to make a difference by serving others. I wanted to bring the same sense of belonging and encouragement that I felt at Kwasind back into my community and home. Whether it was helping around the house, helping my friends, or just being a listening ear for them, I found my place. Now, as I look forward to this upcoming summer, it's kind of hard to believe that I'm still going back to Kwasind. I thought it would be a one-time thing when I first went. But I've learned, I've grown, and I've helped others find their way to Kwasind, and that's pretty amazing if you ask me. I'm so incredibly grateful for all the leaders here at this event, at Kwasind, just in general. I am so thankful for all of you. From the moment I was at camp, I felt like I belonged, I could break through my anxieties, and I was the anxious, funny guy that thought he'd be nothing more than just a funny guy. I am now someone who believes in myself, I'm able and ready to serve, and I'm ready to lead. And all of it, every laugh, every challenge, every lesson, every pain has brought me to this moment. And I could not be more thankful for everyone who has given me this opportunity. Camp Kwasind is a catalyst for development of young leaders, and I am fortunate to be one of those who is blessed by Kwasind. And now this summer, I'll step into a new role, not as a title, but as a mission and as a missionary, to love, to serve, and lead with humility, kindness, and of course, with a good laugh along the way. Thank you.